What's up, Vankas?
Lovely day, Vankas. What a lovely day. Not simply lovely. He just described it as lovely.
Yeah, life's good when you're Lando Norris, man. Everything just kind of clicks into place sometimes. Everything just kind of, I think it was maybe karma, you know. I think for last year's Hungary, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
I'm pissed off, dude. I'm pissed off.
Yeah, baby. That's right.
ChatGPT, not a sponsor, told me that the race was at 5. Got up an hour early. I guess I'm just watching pre-race.
Yeah.
I'm just watching pre-race for an hour.
And what do they say on pre-race? Well, it's definitely going to be a two-stopper. It's got to be. So.
But they also say that it's Monaco without walls. So, like, which one is it? Which one is it? Is it Monaco or is it a two? Because it's really hard to overtake, Brian.
Sure, but in terms of like the actual qualities of the track, it's a
lot of slow corners,
right?
And it's hard to overtake. And track position, as we've now seen, is really fucking important. And apparently, you can win it on really old. There were not that many overtakes. You could win it on really old tires. I could fucking win it in my fucking Corolla if I just position it correctly. This is fucking bullshit. It's bullshit, Brian.
I mean, bullshit. This is sometimes better to be a little bit lucky than a little bit good. And, Lando Norris, this was such a classic Lando win. What a classic Lando win this was. Loses 2 places on the opening lap. 2 places on the opening lap. They're like, all right, Lando, you fucked everything up, so we might as well throw you this kind of, let's go for a one-stopper. He's like, sure, why not? What have we got to lose? And then, honestly, puts in a fantastic drive, makes those tires last for 40 laps. At the end, Oscar's on 0.6 of a second faster, catching up, and then he squeezes out a victory. This was a classic Lando win, just like messing up, gets lucky, and kind of breezes his way into the finish line.
and is actually gifted the best strategy,
right?
But only by accident, and the fastest pit stop of all time.
Yeah,
because the pressure is completely off. Because they're like, he's not going to win this.
Yeah,
and then McLaren are like with Oscar, like, okay, so how can we beat Leclerc? Maybe we undercut him. That's what we're gonna do. They're busy with Leclerc, who's actually he's never in the who completely collapsed. Who is actually a non-threat the whole time. He didn't actually have the pace.
Right.
At the end of the day.
They were seeing red ghosts of Leclerc. They were like, this Ferrari. And then by the time they've taken the whole race, adjusted their entire strategy, worried about Charles Leclerc, he falls off a fucking cliff.
Yeah.
And then they're like, and then they say to Oscar, they're like, so do you want us to worry about Lando or Charles? And he goes, Lando. I don't give a fuck about Charles Leclerc. I don't care about Charles Leclerc. I care about Lando Norris. That's who we need to be thinking about at all times.
Also, I got so angry when at the second to last lap when Oscar tried to overtake him, like locks up, like avoids, and they're like, be careful, Oscar. Remember how we race. Be careful.
I know.
I'm like, oh, yeah, he can't touch him, but you can completely undermine him with strategy and put his nuts in a vice, race after race. Like after this is the second time that he's been ahead on track, and you completely fucking nut punched him from behind. They did this in Spa. Like they've made his life like what's his reward for being ahead on track? Getting like by the way, Oscar, your nuts are like in a vice now. We've just made your life so much more difficult than it needs to be. Like, what is his reward? Like, there's no reward for being ahead at this point. It's just like, It's no. Spa was brutal. That was brutal. And then this race was fucking brutal for him. And Spa came out on top. And this race, he didn't come out on top. And you know what? If I was Oscar, I'd be like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna race him the way I want to race him because the gloves are off in the strategy room. You could completely fuck me with strategy. So why should I be nice on track? It doesn't make any sense."
Well, they don't completely fuck him on strategy. They fell into the right strategy today with Lando. He was on what they thought was the right strategy. And then it just happened to be that Lando took a risk and the risk paid off. That's the same thing that happened in Spa. Oscar was ultimately on the better strategy than Lando. They were just we got to throw something at this.
In Spa,
they
completely undermined him. He was going for the 2-stop. That was his plan to win the race. And then they put Lando on the 1-stop. And then Oscar's like, well, fuck. Now my whole plan is screwed up to win this race. Now I have to extend.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what? You know what a fucking you know how annoying that is?
Right.
He wasn't planning to do a 1-stop. So the way he was pacing his tire, that's just fucking annoying. That's just annoying when you're trying to win a race. And they didn't prepare him for that. So he has to completely change. And the whole plan was we're doing a 2-stop. This is what we're doing. And he didn't expect okay, we're doing a 2-stop and you're going to have to overtake Lando at the end. Okay, that's not in the race plan.
Right.
That's not in the race plan. Oh, by the way, Lando's going to do a 1-stop and you have to beat him at the end. That's just not what you're throwing him curveball.
I think I'm into that. I'm okay with them strategy trying to fuck each other over. That's fine with me. The thing that makes it annoying is exactly what you just said when they're like, well, come on, guys. Don't race each other like that. Come on.
Right. That's not how we race. I'm like, shut the fuck up. But if I'm also Oscar, I'm like, race him hard, put him in, hit him. You do not want him to beat you. He cannot be ahead. He cannot beat you in this break. Win it or bin it, baby. Max Verstappen, dive bomb. What are you doing?
Right.
But he's got to be nice. Fuck that. Fuck them. Absolutely not. They're not being nice in this. Lando's side of the garage is not being nice.
Right.
They're doing it with radio messages and diplomacy. Don't be nice on track. Fuck that. Absolutely not. I was furious when Oscar got that message.
Yeah.
Furious.
No, that it's this weird element with McLaren. This, of course, is the red flags brought to you by BetMGM. This race was a fucking thriller. I was on my feet, screaming at my television screen, screaming, "Come on, Lando, you fuck!" I kept screaming at you. I was yelling absolute profanities at Lando Norris as he closed out that race. No, this was a thriller. This was a thriller in Budapest. Oh yeah, no, this was they need to let them fight because let's look at this, right? Because
so what if they crash? Who cares?
Literally, so what if they of course, safety, of course. You're not trying to get people injured, but let them race hard. Max Verstappen has 185 points. Lando Norris has 250. Oscar Piastri has 266. Max Verstappen finished 9th today. He's out of this thing. George Russell got a podium, but he's at 157 points. He's 100 points behind Lando. So they would have to crash in every race, and George would have to win almost every race for this to matter. Let them race hard. Let them touch wheels. Because even, it's I think Brundle was saying this. He was like, look how cautious in that opening lap, Lando was right behind Oscar. And it's just oh, here we go. Lando fucks up starts already. And then on top of that, it's if you crash into your teammate, you're persona non grata here at the McLaren factory. It's who cares? Literally, Who cares? You have both championships. Let them race fully.
But Lando's mistake was he went in aggressive, and then he was like, "Oh, never mind, never mind."
I know. Well, it was like
he was like, "Eye of the tiger," and then he was like, "Wait, never mind, fuck that."
Well, he chose the inside line, which I was into. I was like, he chose the inside line, then he was just like, "Wait, actually, never mind. What about a slipstream?" I'm like, "Baby, you can't."
You can't
make
with
your
with George Russell and Fernando Alonso on your ass. You cannot do that.
Right, you have to send it. It's like people get injured. Like if you ever go like cliff jumping, or like if you jump off of something, the way you actually fuck yourself up is that you get like scared and you like half jump, and then you like clip your knee on a fucking rock.
Yeah.
You have to full commit. And Lando like made the move and then was like, "Wait, I'm just kidding about that. No. I was like, Jesus, Lando. I mean, dude, he keeps things interesting.
It's like me when I asked a girl out on AIM in middle school, and then she said no, and I was like, it wasn't really me. I got hacked. It was a friend. Brian took over my computer and asked you out. It's like you don't really send it,
right?
You don't really send it. You don't really commit to getting ahead.
But listen, say what you will about Lando Norris, he keeps these races interesting. I mean,
you know what's interesting though? It's like on Twitter, it's like everybody's bored by this fight somehow. I don't know why.
Really?
Everyone's like, this championship battle sucks. It's like because neither one of them are like alpha enough. I don't know.
Right?
I'm like, what do you? I mean, I love Aldis. I didn't watch this YouTube video. He had this video. Is like, is McLaren dominance like getting to Verstappen levels? Like people are talking about. I'm like, what are you kidding me? Verstappen was out by himself. He didn't have a champion.
Right.
There was no championship fight.
Right.
But there are people that are like checked out of this championship fight for some reason.
I know,
which I don't understand.
Well, I think it's a few things. I think it's like they are both so kind of like, well, no, he's great and he's great. No, he's great. He's great. When you know that's not actually how they feel about each other. I think that there is obviously resentment building between Lando and Oscar. Oscar looked, before they all got into the cool down room and Oscar was just alone and he was just seething. I think he's seething right now.
I'd be furious if I was.
He is fucking seething that this result happened, again, after, the same strategy thing that Lando's strategy team, it seems like right now, is a lot more aggressive or at least they're focused on the right things. Like they're focused on only one thing, which is Oscar Piastri, where it feels like Oscar's pit wall is like maybe a little bit more, I don't know, distracted or because he's in the lead, it's just like a little bit harder to be aggressive with strategy.
Or creative.
But no, Oscar was.
Well, let's
I think
be clear.
Oscar's.
They did the alternate strategy. It worked. It worked once. It failed once.
Right.
But it's definitely frustrating, and you feel It's like, here's the thing: Lando fans will be like, "Well, he did the alternate strategy. He did nothing wrong. It's like no, he fucked up at the start. He fucked up in qualifying, and like Oscar Oscar did everything right and finished second. You know what I mean?"
Yeah.
That's frustrating. Like, you're going to be furious.
Right.
I mean, Lando botched, was slower in qualifying, botched the start, and finished ahead of you. Like, how are you not furious?
Yeah. Right.
I mean, I guess the thing is maybe, maybe they could have guessed that they weren't going to undercut Leclerc. So maybe they could have gone long together against Leclerc, but they're not really working together, obviously. They're working against each other. So
they're definitely not working together. I mean,
so it's like whatever Oscar does, Lando's just going to do the opposite. And that's the shitty part about being ahead is like, the guy behind you is just going to do whatever. Like Lando almost has an advantage, which is like, he's just going to sit there and he's just going to wait for whatever Oscar does, and he's just going to do the opposite. He's just going to do the fucking opposite, and he's got the same fucking car. So,
well, this is what's happened, though. Now it's like both guys for the last 2 races started in second or started behind the other guy and finished in first. Like there's a little bit of, we've talked about it earlier with like the Verstappen of it all, of like kind of like, sometimes when you're in a car that's this dominant and you're really only going against your teammate, sometimes it's like you don't necessarily want to be in front. You don't necessarily. I mean, obviously Spa was different because that was like they had the slip.
But Oscar got him on track and got the
right.
better, the quote unquote better strategy. So it's still the same thing, right? Lando just did whatever Oscar didn't do strategy wise.
Right. Bankers, you know them, you love them. This episode is brought to you by BetMGM. We love BetMGM, and this season is bringing tons of races where you can bet and make your Sundays that much more exciting. Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, they're battling for that top spot, and you never know who's going to get that third spot at the podium. Is it George Russell? Is it Max Verstappen? Is it Charles Leclerc? It feels like every week you don't know who's finishing second and you don't know who's finishing third, and you can put your bets in there today. Come see what's new at BetMGM. You can score bigger when you win with boost tokens, odd boost tokens, and more. Even if your bet doesn't hit, we've got you covered with no sweat tokens. Sign up at BetMGM today and you'll have access to countless betting options, including new look, same game parlays, teasers, live bets, and so much more. Take advantage of these offerings and be sure to use the bonus code DADDY, because we're fun, when signing up to receive up to $1,500 in bonus bet if your first bet loses, baby. We'll see you at BetMGM.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 for New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 for Massachusetts. 21 and over only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP for Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF for Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 for Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
Now,
well, there's a ton of gameplay that's happening. I just wish that they would be like a little bit more upfront with it, and I think people would be more invested in this rivalry and in this title battle because, we talked last week about how, in free practices, Oscar had Lando's number, and then there was maybe an implication that Lando like looked at Oscar's telemetry and then like kind of figured out, oh, this is how I beat him in qualifying, and then Brundle was saying, at qualifying this time, because Lando had the better pace and was dominating in the free practices, and then that maybe Oscar looked at Lando's telemetry and was like, oh, this is how I beat you in qualifying. Oh, you're taking this corner this way, and he was like, it's only a matter of time before they start like absolutely botching their free practices to try to just pettifog the the other guy.
Fog. I like that word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, also, this is the other thing. It's not like a situation in Ferrari with Sainz where like Sainz was just a smarter, savvier driver than Leclerc, and you can't really or like even with Hamilton, Russell, at least you felt like Russell was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So you couldn't really be mad if you're Hamilton, you could be mad at Russell. Like, oh, this little bitch. He's always
right.
Like, I'm always faster than him, and then he pulls some shit.
Right.
But, like, this, if you're Oscar, it's like, Lando's just, like, fucking up, being slower on qualifying, and then McLaren is like, here you go, Lando. This is how you win. Like, the team is giving him the answers to the test. That's like an institute, that is like McLaren putting their thumb on the scale. That's a completely different than like a Sainz. Like Sainz would rescue himself from the situation. Like, because Sainz did that all the time. Sainz would qualify behind Leclerc and then think his way through, and you're like, well, fuck. He's like not going to listen to Ferrari. Like, because like, why would he? Or Russell would sometimes he would just make his own decision.
Right.
So like, this is like a weirder situation.
Well, it depends on how separate the different strategy teams are. Do you know what I mean? It's like if they're all kind of drinking from the same well, or if there is kind of a separation of church and state between like Lando's side of the garage and Oscar's side of the garage when it comes to strategy. Because it seems like, race after race after race, they are kind of that is where the competition is happening. It's happening behind the scenes, and then the two drivers are just kind of the ones following orders. It feels like a lot. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that's where it gets complicated within an inter-team battle. That's, you read about and you hear about, Mercedes when it was Lewis and Nico, and by the end of that season, like, people were not sharing any information. Things got completely toxic there. Same thing with Fernando and Lewis, that, there was things getting very complicated behind the scenes. I think McLaren's doing their best to not make that happen, but it feels like all of their attention is what is on the two drivers and what's happening on track, and it's not necessarily like what's happening on the pit wall.
Yeah.
So then the drivers get all the blame. They're like, "Come on, guys, you know how we do things." And it's just like, yeah, if you're Oscar, you'd be like, "We know how we do things. Why does it feel like Oscar? Why does it feel like Lando's getting the leads? Isn't that the thing? It's like you want the good leads." And
that's Glengarrick.
Glengarrick and Ross. It's like,
yeah.
He's got the good leads. It feels like Oscar must be
Oscar's making more sales and he's getting the shittier leads.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure, like, I'm guessing it would go the same way if Oscar was behind, but it's just like a weird.
Yeah.
But just be out front with it, being like, it's a fucking, let's look.
Right.
And they're kind of up their own ass in a way, because because they don't want to crash. They want everything to be nice.
Right.
They're thinking of their sponsorships.
Right.
But I think what their sponsors ultimately want are like eyeballs.
Right.
And attention. And they would get way more attention if people gave a shit.
Right.
And I don't think people really give as much of a shit as they did in the Hamilton Max era, right?
Right.
Or even the Hamilton Rosberg era, when it was just like, where there was a narrative, where there's a storyline. Right. There's nothing. It's all lost in this fucking weird Pravda. Like, we're all good friends. We're the best.
Yeah.
We're the three best friends that anyone could have of Papaya rules.
Right.
Like, it's just
this
Papaya rules is like this black box, this papaya colored black box that's so weird and inscrutable. And of course, Oscar doesn't help anything, right?
Right.
Lando's so upbeat,
and
Oscar's so just fucking poker face that there's nothing really, we can't really, it's hard to get any juice out of it.
Right.
Whereas like Max and Lewis was just gold.
Dude, you saw Max and Lewis touch or not even touch, that have that one moment on track together, and I was like, oh, yes.
We're just longing for
what we used to have.
You had Christian and Toto, like real personalities going at it.
Right.
That was, I mean, I'm sure sponsors were eating that up.
Yeah.
I mean, who cares? Who cares if the OKX is crossing the finish line or in a crumpled heap, as long as people are talking about it, right?
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck? And they're gonna win anyway. They're gonna win they're gonna win anyway. So let's just get the eyeballs. Like, let's get the attention.
It was exciting. It was thrilling. And when Oscar made that move and locked up his tire, I was on my feet screaming. But then it's exactly what you're saying. For the immediate thing to happen after that, to be like, come on now, Oscar, come on now. You know how we race. It's just like, no, we all love this, and you're trying to referee it. It's like it's when I was a kid, there was be whenever Matt, whenever we used to go to bar mitzvahs, we would go to bar mitzvahs, and I remember the number one thing that made a bar mitzvah sick.
Can I get? Wait, hold on. Let me guess.
Well, let me just say, yes, it wasn't the food, it wasn't the venue. It wasn't.
That's all the parents cared about. Like, can we get the sickest venue, the sickest food, the sickest?
Yes.
I remember one kid had it at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
That was his flex on everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. At some of these, the only thing the kids cared about is how much they would let us grind. That was like the barometer for how sick the bar bat mitzvah was like that one rocked. They let us grind. And we would be able to like rub our little bodies against each other. And when didn't know what was going on, but that was what was awesome, was they let us grind. So
we didn't care if it was in a closet.
There were bar mitzvahs that were like objectively shitty.
Yes.
The food sucked. The venue sucked. Like everything was bad, but the parents were like away from us. Yeah. And we were able to grind, and they and then some families spent like $100,000 on some fucking bar mitzvahs.
I'm worried about my pig in a blanket. Forget the pigs in a blanket over there.
Right. Exactly. But like McLaren just like needs to let the kids grind. You know what I mean? Like
let them grind.
This is like a dance floor that is like surrounded by the parents. And it's just like, oh, we can't fucking grind here. They're watching our every move. You need to let the kids grind. Let 7 minutes in heaven. This is what it is.
Does Gen Z grind? YouTube, in the comments, does Gen Z grind?
At this point, it would be
producer Brian in the chat. Yes. Did you guys grind, or is that not a thing? All right, there you go. All right, so grinding made it down.
Grinding made it through. You gotta let the kids grind, and Lando and Oscar are itching to grind.
Yeah,
so you gotta let them.
It's like when an animal's in a trap. You want to see they put Oscar in a trap, and he was about to chew his own foot off, and they're like, no, do not chew your own foot off. It's like that's not. It's like, dude, you. Let him chew his own foot off. That's amazing TV.
Yes.
It's like you put him in this box. You did this to him.
Right.
Let him try to get his way out.
That's what's thrilling to see. I'm all for them doing different strategies and throwing wrenches in the thing, but then you got to let them like sort it out on track. And so that's what they're kind of like not letting them do. We've got 10 races left. What is it now? 8 points between them?
9, I think.
9 points between them. This is we're gonna have a thrilling end of the year, hopefully, but it will only kind of be as good as they will allow it. Now, what's interesting
is, as far as I'm concerned, Lando crashed into the back of Oscar needlessly once. Right. Oscar gets one
for sure.
That's just fair. That's
just tit for tat. Now, I was thinking about this. I wonder what this win does, because we've got 3 weeks off now. We got the summer break. I wonder how this win is going to affect the rest of the year, because Oscar Piastri, I think, is going to be seething for the next month. And he is going to have one thing on his mind, which is like payback and dominating this championship. And my worry with Lando Norris is that he's like, wee, like, oh yeah,
things are good with the girlfriend.
He's like, got it back. My hot ass girlfriend was there. You know, I think I'm gonna party.
She's wearing his sweatshirt.
She was
wearing
like fully,
my sweatshirt,
curled up in like in all of his Lando stuff, and I'm like, I just feel like Lando's gonna like take this and be like, yep, I got this thing. Me doing me. And Oscar's going to be like, have, a dartboard with Lando Norris's face on it that he's going to be throwing darts at every day. And I wonder how this win will affect the momentum of the rest of the year.
Not well for, I think you're right. I think it's not going to go well for Lando. Although who fucking cares if he finishes second? He could still, as we've seen,
Yeah.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Well,
it doesn't matter.
The car is so much better that unless one of them royally fucks up, they're going to get a 1-2. That's just what the case is. I mean, maybe 1 or 2 races, but even if they don't win the race, it'll be a 2-3. You know what I mean? Like,
but the point is that even if Lando isn't as good as Oscar on the day, they can just throw a fucking curveball, and Lando is good enough that if he lucks into a better strategy, that he's more than capable of executing.
Right.
And if Oscar's planning on doing a 2-stop and they're like, actually, Oscar, you actually have to do a 1-stop on these tires you've been punishing. Well, he's like, well, fuck, dude, come on. That's, that sucks. I mean, actually, when you think about it, the Spa one was more fucked up than this one. This one, at least, they both executed their strategies. Lando's strategy was better. The other one, Oscar, was on a strategy that he was then forced to change.
Right.
And we compromised his own race, really.
Right.
And yeah.
Vankas, it's dinner time here in New York City, and I went down to my favorite local burger spot, and I got myself a delicious cheeseburger. But you know what? Before I bite into this thing, what every burger needs, a mug root beer. So I'm going to crack this thing open. Ooh, baby. You got to love that sound. For real, when was the last time you had a root beer? Like a proper, frothy, creamy root beer mug? Baby, mug is the Max Verstappen of sodas. It's dominant, consistent. It never misses. It's got that smooth vanilla flavor with just enough bite. It's got that dog in it, just like Max Verstappen. And now, me, baby. Arr, arr, arr. I love me some mug. I love me some mug root beer with a burger. Makes me feel like I'm a kid again. July 4th, slamming down my mug root beer and eating burgers all day long. So the next time you're sitting down to watch F1 highlights and make you feel like you got that dog in you, crack open a mug root beer. And you can find mug at your local store, grab it online, or wherever you get your groceries. It's creamy, frothy, and unapologetically bold. And find it at your local store or wherever you get your groceries. Get that dog in you. Arr, arr, arr. Vankas, after you finish this episode, you've got to head over to Glory Days with Johnny Manziel, part of the Friday Beers Network. He just did an absolutely iconic episode with the legend Cam Newton. 2 legends of college football, just reminiscing, talking about life, love, the pursuit of happiness, baby. It's everything that you want. Johnny Manziel in this new era of his life and career, being raw, vulnerable. It's a great podcast. Go give it a listen and subscribe as well.
I mean, clearly the 1-stop was good. Lawson did it.
Right.
Liam Lawson did it to great effect.
He beat Max Verstappen with that.
He beat Max Verstappen with Liam Lawson beat Max Verstappen with the 1-stop. Obviously, it works.
No, everyone other than, because Piastri did the 2-stop, Russell did the 2-stop, Leclerc did the 2-stop. And then the next 4 guys didn't. Alonso, Bortoleto, Stroll, and Lawson all did 1-stops. And then Verstappen did a 2-stop. So, no, the 1-stop was the strategy to be on. Apparently, Ruth Buscombe was like, I was saying it. And, it feels like definitely an oversight that they were all seemingly shocked by this. When it's just like, hey y'all, it's gonna be one of 2 things. It's either gonna be a 1-stop or a 2-stop. Why don't we have real plans for both and real consideration of both?
As my dad says when I fuck something like this up, you had a 50-50 chance. And you fucked it up. They had a 50-50 chance, and they fucked it up. They fucked up a 50-50 chance.
Now here's
these professionals. These professionals, it's their job, and they were given a 50-50 chance, and they fucked it up.
Now, the McLarens are so fast. Honestly, at this point, they could do a 3-stop and both finish 1-2. Even though this race, it looked like it was like all of a sudden, these Ferraris were looking quick. I mean, they were shocked that they even got the pole in the first place. Obviously, like the wind and the changing conditions of qualifying kind of playing a factor in that. But then in that first stint, the Ferraris were looking quick. Oscar couldn't get by Charles. And you're like, oh shit, is this real? Like, is this new Ferrari update real? And then in classic Ferrari fashion, it all came crashing down to spectacular effect. I mean, the meltdown of Charles Leclerc today was one for the record books.
Let me tell you, before we talk about the meltdown of Leclerc, let me tell you another reason why the one stop, when it's 50-50 between the two stop and the one stop.
Matt, Lando won, and you're going to have to just accept that, okay, babe?
No, let me just tell you another reason why the one stop is better.
The cope is coping.
It's not cope. It's not cope. It's not cope. It's just right. I like the one stop because, let me tell you why I like the one stop. I like the one stop not only because that overtake never happens at the end. Right. As much as we like to talk about it, it never fucking happens. It didn't happen with Lando and Spa. Didn't happen with Oscar today. They like to fucking say it's going to happen to keep you tuned in. It never fucking happens, okay? It's a scam. It never happens. We talk about how this was a thrilling race. It still didn't happen. Number 2 point, why you should always go with the one stop when it's a 50-50 ball. Safety car. You hang it out for a safety car. When Lando was leading that race, I was sitting there thinking, one of these fuckheads is going to have a fucking engine problem or a crash. Now that we don't have Logan Sargent or Nicholas Latifi, you know, it's less likely, or Nikita Mazepin, it's less likely, but that is still always in play. And so when you hang it out for one stop, especially on a track like this where overtaking is hard, you are forcing guys to try to overtake you, and you're hanging it out for a safety car.
Yeah.
I mean, when Lando was leading that race, weren't you partially thinking, you know, this could work?
Yeah.
Even that early on with the safety car. You were thinking that. Okay, go on let's talk about this Leclerc collapse.
I mean, a full Leclerc crash out, starts the race off well. Then I guess it's still unclear what exactly happened, because it seems like they had pace, and then at lap 40 is what Leclerc was saying in the post-race interviews, they just fell off of a cliff, that they fell off of a cliff, and he was on the radio.
It's a mystery. What happened? What happened to this Ferrari pace? Did it kill itself? Was it murdered? Will we ever know? What happened to this Ferrari pace?
Release the list.
Release the list. We need the list. We need the logs of what actually happened to this Ferrari car. Because 1 minute, it was fast. And the next minute, it was, and they're speaking so cryptically about it.
Right.
We were talking about this. Pam Bondi had it on her desk. The explanation for why it was, what happened. And are we ever going to, and they asked Fred Vasseur, I have no idea what happened. What is this conspiracy? He was faster than the McLarens. They couldn't touch him.
Yeah.
I thought Leclerc was going to be the cork in the bottle of this whole thing. I thought Leclerc was going to catch Lando.
Right. Yeah.
And then he just fucking disappeared. And then Piastri got him immediately. What the fuck do you think happened? And he was talking so oddly about it.
Yeah.
Like it was this fucking,
well, he said,
like he's Ghislaine Maxwell, like locked away and just keeping mum until something comes his way. You know,
I need a
full pardon.
Yeah, full pardon. I can feel what we discussed before the race. We need to discuss those things before doing those. This is so incredibly frustrating. We've lost all competitiveness. You just have to listen to me. I would have found a different way of managing those issues. Now it's just undrivable. It's a miracle if we finish on the podium. There's a picture of Leclerc in the press tent watching the podium celebration. Just, hello darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk to you again. staring into the void of his life. And then, now here's what's interesting. You're exactly right. We'll never know what the fuck happened because
But that's Ferrari, right?
That's how Ferrari works, baby. Because in the obviously Leclerc was like, this is something that I brought up before, that this is going to be an issue. Now it's proving to be an issue. And then in every post-race interview from now, we're recording this pretty soon after the race finished, but every post-race interview, it's, oh, I didn't have all the information. We had an issue on the chassis. I thought it was something else. I was wrong. And, this was a one-off. And
It's
there's
a hoax.
really nothing to see here.
It's a hoax.
And it's just, and then it's just gonna be like, are you still talking about?
I knew you were gonna do that. Are we still talking about this clipping issue?
I mean, really, are we still talking about this? That you should have listened to me. Obviously, I didn't know all the information there. There's really nothing to see here. I don't care that they said that there were 13 hours of telemetry sitting on my desk. Yeah, who knows? I mean, we'll never know. We just,
That's
what?
Ferrari.
We'll never know.
Hinchcliffe was saying, like, they're speaking so cryptically and talking around it. He's like, that's a lot of mental energy having to speak in code.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? They're so obsessed. I mean, it's literally they're doing a cover up, and there's so much mental energy spent on covering up a crime that nobody cares about.
Right.
Like who like literally who cares about like what's wrong? Because they're trying to like protect somebody in their organization that nobody knows the name of, right? Like if it was the brakes or the engine, because then it's going to be some guy, some person named Antonio is going to be embarrassed. But like nobody cares about Antonio. We're just interested. Like you and I just want to know like, oh, what? And now we're more interested. Like if it was just like, oh, so the brakes were not calibrated correctly. It's like, okay, well maybe next time they'll calibrate the brakes. But now I'm obsessed. Now I'm obsessed. Did they?
Right.
If they didn't do the front flap correctly. That was a front flap adjustment. It's like, well, now Vincenzo's embarrassed. But we didn't call it. Nobody knows who did it. Nobody cares about Vincenzo. We just want to know. We just kind of want to know what happened. It's just it's our imaginations. It's that where our imaginations are going wild now.
Right.
We're going crazy thinking about it. I'm like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, it's going to be a Streisand effect.
It's a Streisand effect.
And you know what? We got to keep that same energy because we're going to have 3 weeks off and everyone's going to forget. And I need Nate Saunders or Chris Medland or Lawrence Barretto, one of the friends of the pod, need to ask them in what's the next race? In Zandvoort? Be like, so what the fuck happened in Hungary? And watch Fred Vasseur be like, you're still talking about Hungary? Why are we talking about this? Dude,
I'm Cash Patel. You're Dan Bongino, but we're never going to quit. We're going to stick with it till we figure out. Until Ferrari hires us, and they'll be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Get the fuck out of here. We're going to keep doing this until Ferrari hires us. We're not
and then we'll be like, that's above my... Then we'll be on Pardon My Take being like, that's above my pay grade. I don't know about that. I don't know. I stay out of that. That's not,
you're
my
literally
business.
Brian and Matt, you're literally the team principal and chief technical officer of Ferrari. What are you talking about?
I don't know anything. I don't know. Yeah, that was a good run. That was a nice one.
So Leclerc, I mean, he had a full fucking meltdown. He fully crashed out. Like he literally had a crash out. He crashed out on George Russell.
I've never seen Leclerc drive like that ever.
Yeah,
right?
that was a little. He like literally Ferrari is slowly turning him into Max Verstappen. Like they're turning this sweet man.
Yeah.
With a puppy who's just they're turning a puppy into like a rabid animal. Like
Dude, Max Verstappen would have been like, whoa, at those moves. I think those moves were like made some of Max's stunts look chill. I mean, he did it 2 laps in a row. He fully moves under braking, and almost crashes into George Russell 2 laps in a row. That was wild.
And then George Russell was like, he moved under braking, and then he's like, that's a fucking penalty. And Charles Leclerc was like, I'll show you a fucking penalty.
Yeah.
You thought that was a penalty? I'll show you a fucking penalty, bitch. Here's a penalty.
I'm honestly surprised that they only gave him 5 seconds for that.
Well, he's one of the stars of the sport, you have to understand. And they know, they saw how fragile, they didn't want to fucking pour any more gasoline on that fire.
Yeah.
You know, but no, that was a dangerous move.
He finished 16 seconds ahead of Alonso, and I think that was maybe with even the 5-second penalty. So even if they have given him a 10, but I was just like, you know, sometimes it's a little hard to see the moving under braking. Like, oh, did they move under braking? It was slight. It was like a little bit like, you know, when did he pick the line? When did this happen? X, Y, and Z. But that was, I mean, to the naked eye, obviously, that was a wild move.
Yeah. Speaking of crazy moves, do we want to talk about Max Verstappen's move on Hamilton?
Of course.
I mean, that was insane. That was fucking insane.
Yeah.
I mean, for like what, P11 or P10? Like, what even place was that?
I mean, I don't know what that move was for. I mean, Hamilton finished P12, so I think that's where he stayed. So I think that was Verstappen going from 12th to 11th is what that move was. He had a ton of pace on Hamilton. He could have passed him at other points of the track, but he just threw it up the fucking the inside of this.
And then
turn.
Hamilton just bent over. Like, why did he do? Like, I'm just like,
right.
Why did Hamilton? If I'm Hamilton, I'm like, well, I'm not going anywhere this race. Let's just both go out together.
Right.
I don't get why they. I mean, I guess like crashes are unpleasant and you don't want to cost your team money, but I don't get that. If I'm going nowhere and a guy just disrespects me like that, I'm like, well, now you're out of the race. So
right.
I would just want a guy to think twice. I would want Max to think twice before he pulls that shit on me.
Right.
Personally.
Yeah.
But I am obviously an idiot and don't know what I'm talking about in those regards. But like, I just like, he was so in the wrong.
Right. Yeah, that was a crazy move. Apparently after the race, Max said, it doesn't matter if you get 9 points or no points. It does not matter at all. So I think I don't know, who knows if he'll even fight this result or this whatever, you know, if they're going to go into the stewards and discuss whether he should get a
I'm surprised that they wanted to think about that.
Shocking that they wanted to think about that.
Because it's Max. They're like, well, let's we don't want to piss him off any further. It's crazy that that Leclerc, they're like 5 seconds slam dunk, no thought process. And then fucking Max, they're like, well.
Yeah. What else? I mean, the Aston Martins were looking pacey all weekend.
Yeah, what happened to Stroll?
What did happen?
I mean, he didn't finish nearly as high as he should have, no?
Stroll finished 7th. I mean, Fernando finished 5th. Yeah. He had Bortoletto in between. Okay. So, you know, I think a decent weekend for both of them. There was that great moment where I think there was like a double overtake and Stroll there was a couple of great little racing moments where I was like, and Fernando, look at Fernando. And I was like, wait, that's Lance Stroll.
Yeah.
He was looking racy. He had the DRS train. Fernando Alonso was kind of like dictating the race for everyone else today.
Yeah.
Bortoletto. Yeah.
I mean, Alonso, he missed FP1 because he was having back pain. King. I mean, it felt really seen as a guy with back pain.
Little L4, L5 moment, little inflamed discs, you know?
Yeah. And then and then just fucking beasted it. I mean, maybe Gabriel Bortoleto, he's coming on. He's coming on. He might be the late surprise. Now, especially now that Liam's turning on a little bit against Hadjar.
Yep.
Bortoleto might be the late arriver for Rookie of the Year. Now, especially now Sauber's got some pace. I mean, this is what we were talking about before with Antonelli. Like, that this is the advantage for being on Sauber. It's like,
right.
Someone would ask me about Bortoleto, like at the beginning of the season, like 5 races in, I'd be like, I don't really know.
Right.
I couldn't really tell you about how he's at Sauber. Like, who the fuck knows? He's kind of had that ability to kind of exist in anonymity. Right. And now when he finally shows up, I'm like, wait a minute, this kid's got some talent. Mm-hmm. Holy shit. I mean, and I'm really like, I'm becoming a real Kick Sauber fan. I'm like all in on the chasing down Williams. This is this is my big bet of the year.
On the Jonathan Wheatley, yeah.
On the Jonathan Wheatley. And
they got good points today because both of the Williams were not in the points.
That's right.
And Bortoleto finished 6th. So
there you go.
That's another chunk out of the Williams stake drama. I mean, the bottom of the grid is fun to watch, and there is fun stuff happening down there. But today there was enough happening at the top that made it a thing. I mean, George Russell, Kimi Antonelli, we just mentioned him. Antonelli got 10th. George Russell with a podium.
Yeah, I mean, at least he got a point. At least he got into the points. Where did he qualify?
Who?
He qualified
Antonelli?
11th. He qualified 11th.
Yeah.
You know.
Qualified 11th and finished in 10th. So, but yeah, I mean, George Russell in the cool
George
down
Russell
room.
got on the podium, so I mean, that's what it is.
George in the cool down room though, when he was like, you should have T-boned him.
He said you should have T-boned him. I'm like, yeah, he should have fucking T-boned him. Should have fucking T-boned him.
Yeah. All right, let's
because George is a real one, dude. George was thinking what I was thinking, which was really validating.
George says it how it is. Remember when the beginning of the year when he was like, the McLaren's going to be so much fucking faster than all of us, and you're not, they could retire right now. Like it's fucking over.
He also had a classic moment where he fucking raged out against Leclerc. He was like, "This fucking, it's unbelievable. It's unsafe. It's blah 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 blah." And then like 2 laps later, he was like, "I see rain. There's rain."
Yeah.
He reverts back to his weatherman status.
I know. Yeah,
hoping for chaos. Oh, and then he had to let me drive. They're like, George, you're just so awesome and excellent. He's like, let me drive. Also, give me my fucking contract, you fucking whores.
You better sign me
bitches.
to a 2-year deal. Also, when Leclerc did move in and moved under braking on him, and he was screaming about it to his radio, they were like, just calm down, George. You're going to get him. Just shut up. And I was like, actually, no. Actually, right now, no. Sometimes I would agree with you, but right now, when you haven't given him a multi-year contract, and you've been dangling Max Verstappen in front of him and, flirting and breaking the rules of our polyamorous relationship to hang out with Max Verstappen, I get to complain, and you get to say, you're right, George. We will fight for you.
Also, what I've learned is you're supposed to validate the person's experience.
That's right.
This is low-key what GP does with Max. GP is always like, yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. you first validate the person's experience, and then you tell them to keep pushing. You say, that is ridiculous. That was unsafe. But just keep your head down.
Right.
You don't invalidate the person's experience. That's toxic.
Toxic. Vegas, this episode is brought to you by Factor. We here at the Red Flags Podcast love Factor. We're busy. We're running around town. We got podcasts to record. We got races to go to, and sometimes the last thing that I want to do is order a wildly expensive meal where I don't know what's actually in it. I don't know what the macros are because I'm trying to get that body right and tight, and that's where Factor comes into play. Factor has more variety and more meals. Choose from a wide selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp at no extra cost. Support your wellness goals. Enjoy even more GLP-1 friendly meals and new Mediterranean diet options packed with protein and good for you fats. I love me a Mediterranean meal, and Factor has delicious options there. Savor global flavors. For the first time, try Asian-inspired meals with bold flavors influenced by China, Thailand, and more. From more choices to better nutrition, that's why 97% of customers say that Factor helped them live healthier lives. Feel the difference no matter your routine. And you can eat smart at factormeals.com/redflags50 off and use code redflags50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. I mean, you got to take this deal. That's code redflags50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off plus free shipping. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. All right, awards. Hottest moment of the day.
Do you have any noms?
I mean, a lot of people saying the final battle between Oscar and Lando, Bortoletto P6. Weren't there that many? I mean, that whole last battle. I mean, I was on my feet screaming at the TV.
Yeah, that was thrilling.
That's got to be hottest moment of the day.
Yeah.
Daddy of the day.
Probably Alonso.
Yeah. Yep. Just holding everyone up.
Pulling through on a herniated bulging disc at least.
Bulging disc and dictating the race for everybody else. Radio of the day, obviously.
Leclerc.
It's going to be... I want to see if there's literally one person who has written anything other than Leclerc. Oh, someone said Oscars. I don't care about Leclerc. I care about Lando. Obviously the Leclerc. Ruth Buscombe said after the race, she was like, she's like, and the longest radio message that I've ever seen. I couldn't believe what I'm seeing. He loves to like give a sermon, a full diatribe on the radio. Karen of the day, probably George.
McLaren. For creating a situation and then like calling the police.
Right. Gaslighting.
You're getting really aggressive.
It was full gaslight.
Yeah, it was full gaslighting.
Like, come on, Oscar, let's put in the laps. Let's go get him. And then he like tries to get him. They're like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
What the hell's wrong with you? All right, and red flag of the day.
These tracks that you can't overtake on, get rid of them. Just next. Next.
You know what I'm going to give red flag of the day to? The camera crew and whoever is running this broadcast, because they continue to pick the worst camera angles at the most exciting times. During those final laps with Oscar chasing Lando, at one point going down the main straight, in one of the attempts that Oscar put on Lando, it was from like a shaky cam from within the grandstands. You could not see what the fuck was happening. Then, after the lockup, they go into a replay of the lockup, which is all well and good. And then there's like a 6-second moment where they're showing a slow-mo of a fan's reaction to the lockup while Oscar is chasing Lando. Like, on the final lap of the race, I'm watching this McLaren fan be like, oh, and I was like, get him off of my TV. Then after the race, they were about to show Lando and Oscar's first interaction post-race, because Lando went and kind of was like, wee, with the team and celebrating and jumping in everyone's arms, and Oscar was just like, getting weighed and was like, I'm not fucking doing anything. I'm just going to stand here. And then they follow Lando. He goes over to say what's up to Oscar. I'm about to like watch. This is what we live for, is like these guys give us nothing. So what you have to do is like read into, you have to be this fucking Zapruder film of their interactions. What is actually happening between these two guys. And we're about to see it. And they cut to fucking George Russell like taking his steering wheel off and awkwardly getting out of his car. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
No, I mean, when it's the end, just give me the oneer. Give me adolescence. I just want to see. I don't need music. I don't need any accompaniment. I don't need any frills. Just show me the camera A around each turn.
Yes.
Don't need anything else. The fan shots, the girlfriend shots, the pit stops, the replays, that's all for like the middle of the race when the shit hasn't come together yet.
Right.
But at the end, just give me the oneer. Give me the 1917 one shot, please.
And they have these great camera angles. They have a fucking guy in a helicopter dangling off the edge to get these amazing angles of the cars on track. And then it's the final moments of the race where we've been building up to this moment. They're telling me something amazing is going to happen. We all know that it's not. But you know what? Every time I believe them because I wish I could quit you, F1, but I can't. And I'm seeing from the fucking back through a fence. I'm seeing through the fence Oscar Piastri attempt to take over.
You're in fucking GA suddenly.
What
you
the
know
fuck?
what it is? You know what it is? They hire 100 cameramen.
Yes.
On the day, and then they're like, "Well, you give them too many toys, and they got to use all of them. Otherwise, then I think it might be this like use them or lose them situation where if they don't,
right?
I'm just speculating. If you don't use all the cameramen, they're like, well, why are we paying all these cameramen? So they're like, oh, well, Jimmy hasn't been used in a while, and Jimmy's got a family. Cut to Jimmy.
Right.
That's my only explanation.
I just feel like they don't understand. I don't know. They like don't
Brian,
understand what people want.
Think about it. Let's say I'm the TV director.
Yeah.
You're my friend.
Yeah.
You're also a camera guy. I send you off into the fucking wherever the fuck I send you. I send you off into the crowd. I send you off into and you're just sitting there. You got a shot. And you're fucking locked in for an hour, and I never cut to you.
Right.
Like I gotta eat dinner with you later, and you're gonna be like, "So I had like this perfect fan reaction. What's up?" I'm like, "Well, there was a fight for the lead. Like at some point, this interpersonal relationship is gonna outweigh like you and me at home watching." Probably.
Yeah, which is bullshit. Just use
just cut to Brian and his fucking fan shot.
Don't
otherwise...
matter. Oh.
Yeah. That's why you need sociopaths in these positions.
Right.
Who are just like, you need Oscar Piastri. Just like, no, don't care about that.
Right.
Just give me the racing.
Right.
Just cold-blooded.
I want to give a special shout out to Lando Norris's growth for taking the trophies off of the podium because he didn't want to break them. Do you see that?
Right.
He took his trophy and he took Oscar's trophy, and he put them over into the corner to make sure that they didn't break. Big moment of growth from the kid. Because of how, what was it, 2 years ago when he broke them? We were just like, suck my dick. I don't give a fuck. And there was this moment also on the podium where the guy who was, the team member who was raising that like disc that they give, I guess he lifted it up, and then George Russell was like, hey, like you lifted it up upside down. Like, it had like writing on it, or it had maybe like first place on it or whatever. And he like didn't lift it, and George was like, just do that again. And then he saw him lift it up again, and then everyone cheered again. It's cute.
Yeah.
cute moment.
Fuck this. Let's just move on from this.
How does this make you?
Isn't it cute that he used to break trophies and now he doesn't break them anymore?
We're going into the summer break. We got 10 races left. We got 9 points between them. What do you feel like this race says? How are you feeling going into the summer break?
I feel good. I mean, I feel like less good than I could be feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Oscar's really taken a huge step in terms of pace, and but this, since Spa and now this race, I've kind of been like, oh shit. Even being faster on Saturday isn't, or even getting track. It used to be like, well, if you get track position, you're kind of golden, but like,
right.
He being in second has its advantages, and that a lot can happen, as we saw today, and as we almost saw in Spa, that being in second, you can see what the other guy does do the opposite, and the conventional wisdom is often wrong, and the two stop isn't the best strategy. And getting the optimal strategy that everybody agrees on can be bad.
Right.
So sometimes it's almost better to get the shittier strategy, because that turns out to be the better strategy. So that's weird. It's a weird feeling to be like.
I still think overall, like in the law of averages, like over 100 races, I still think that like the track position and all of that outweighs the, riskier, one stop. I think it's exciting when those things happen, but I still think that like you have the better shot in the long run. Winning.
Right, but even with the tire delta, like I still I don't know about you, Brian. You never want to be in a position where you got to overtake a guy. Like
on fresher tires
on this kind of track,
right?
On this kind of track,
and especially when you're in the same. Honestly, when you're in the same car,
yeah,
it's different if you're in a different car with different like setups. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like, oh, I'm actually really quick on the straights, and I'll have this advantage. It's a lot different when you're on the same car, and you're trying.
But he had a big tire. He had a pretty big tire delta. It's just it wasn't. But you need to be so much faster,
right?
And even if you are that much faster, the window to do it is so short.
Right.
And on that one turn, one DRS zone, it's just kind of brutal. So like,
right.
You don't ever want to be in a position to have to overtake unless you got either like a major delta, and you've got like more laps to do it than he did, because he caught him and he only had like 3 laps to really do it. So that kind of I'd rather usually have track position. I mean, Oscar had track position last week, and it didn't really matter how much faster Lando was at the end of the day. It just fucking didn't matter.
Right.
Didn't matter.
Right.
What
So in
the
that
delta
way,
was.
that's and what you said earlier with the one stop. It's like the one stop is how you get track position. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's if you don't have track position, the way you get track position is you do a one stop. And
it's just interesting to me that there's like ways in which you can undermine your team. Like, because let's just, like a year ago we had Hungary, right?
Yeah.
And I forgot the exact way it went down, but
they pitted Lando first, and he undercut Oscar.
Right? That's the thing, right? So they gave Lando a better strategy by accident, right?
Yes.
And they were like, this isn't fair.
Right.
That we gave you a better strategy by accident. So switch to the places, because giving somebody a better strategy by accident when the other guy is ahead on track is bullshit. So switch them back. But what happened today? they gave Lando the better strategy by accident.
Yeah.
But somehow this one is cool, right? Like, so,
Well, I
so
think that
explain to me why undercutting your teammate is not okay.
I think
But
that
going
they're now
long
in
on
a-
him is okay.
because I
Explain to me why
because
Hungary
they're in
was a no-no.
different situation this year, babe. Because last year they weren't fighting for a championship. Last year was like, this is Oscar's first win. And, you know, it was like Lando was actually the person who was like fighting for the championship. If anything, last year was kind of like, well, you actually should let Lando do this because he's the one who actually has the chance to win this. This year, they are letting them fight everywhere but on track. But they are letting them fight, and the two garages are trying to outmaneuver each other. That is the game. That is like the new rule set of this. So wait, so are you suggesting that Lando should have given the place back to Oscar because this was Oscar's weekend? What are you suggesting here?
No, I'm saying
now we're
that
venturing into tinfoil hat territory a little.
No. I'm not. There's no like conspiracy theory here. I'm saying that the logic around Lando giving the place back was like, well, that wasn't really fair what we did. Do you know what I'm saying? That was the logic.
Right.
And I'm saying, well,
yes, right, sure.
Because they're thinking, because the logic is the guy who's ahead should get the better strategy. I'm saying like, there's this unwritten rule that you don't undercut your teammate, right? Who's ahead of you. That's like something that
sure
you kind of, everyone agrees. Like if the guy's ahead of you, you don't fucking undercut your own teammate. But it's totally okay to fucking
go long
on him.
Right.
And force him to have to fucking chase you down and overtake you. That's okay.
Right.
I just don't understand why that's one is better than the other when it's just it's just a different version of strategy fuckery.
Right. I think it yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting because it's like,
if anything, last year there was even less there was even less reason to switch the positions because Oscar wasn't in the fight and Lando was in ostensibly a title bet. Maybe they just probably assumed Lando wasn't in the fight and Oscar really kind of deserved that win and they wanted to give it to him, and whatever. Who knows? But just from a philosophical standpoint, there isn't really much difference between undercutting your teammate. Like if everybody's really in it for himself,
right?
Then
I think they should
fucking
be able to
undercut. Then fucking undercut
your teammate.
Then like, what are we doing here? Are we like, is it every man for himself? It's just weird that they're like on this, that they're, it's like shit or get off the pot. Like let it be chaos.
Right.
Or institute some structure here. Like
I think
this kind of mealy-mouthedness is weird.
I think practically where the undercut thing is that usually those are like, you're going to come in within like 1 or 2 laps of each other, right? So there is only there's a pit crew. You've got one pit crew that are doing every pit stop. So it's a little bit harder to navigate, like, we're going to undercut you because you're going to have to use the same pit guys that we are, and it's going to be when the strategies are so similar, it's actually like logistically much more difficult to do that if you have 2 guys going after each other. Because whenever someone undercuts, it's usually 1 lap apart. You know, it's like that. That's what happened today with Oscar and Charles. It was like they went in 1 lap apart, I think. But that's usually the case with how those work. So I think there's just like, it presents a logistical issue, but in theory, as I see it, let everyone fight. Let the pit crews fight.
No, but you're right about the pit crew.
Let the strategy teams fight, and then let the drivers fight.
I mean, you're right about the pit crew because, I mean, in order for Lando or the behind driver to undercut Oscar, they would kind of have to let Oscar go. They'd be like, hey, Oscar, don't pit. Lando, pit. Like, right. That's kind of how it would have to work. So that kind of undercuts everything that I'm saying.
Yes.
But
I think that's why.
It's
I
kind
think
of
that's
more
why the undercut thing is not is considered more of like
devious
than
because it's really like
long.
The undercut should be available to the guy who's ahead because he literally you literally have to wave him by to give Lando the undercut in that situation. So I get that. But by the same token, like, yeah, I mean, it just turned out that Lando had the better strategy this race for sure.
Right.
You know. Yeah, I'm just pissed off. I'm pissed off, and I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
And now I see the difference now, obviously. But the point still stands that, like,
but in
what
theory,
are we doing
I
here?
think it's true. I hear that. I think, but and again, I've now said this 5 times in this podcast. I don't mind them undercutting each other when it comes to the strategy shit, but don't scold Oscar Piastri for trying to overtake him when you put him in that position. That's the difference. That's the hypocrisy element of it that rubs me the wrong way. I enjoy the fact I want to see them do everything that they can from top to bottom on both sides of that garage to, beat the other driver. I'm just, earlier this year, I think I was when Lando, when he crashed in fucking
Canada?
He crashed in Saudi.
Oh, Canada.
Even the Canada thing I didn't mind that much, but when he crashed in Saudi and there was a little bit more of the kind of like, oh fuck, Lando's really just fucking like choking this thing. As much as he still has those elements, which obviously we saw today, I'm just, people were like, oh fuck, Lando, it's fucking over, and once I calmed down, I said it's gonna be a long season, and he's still fucking in this thing. So I'm just happy that he's still in this thing. And hopefully this continues to be close for the sake of numbies and for the sake of the growth of the pod. And we'll see if he can squeeze out this championship. I am a little bit worried that he's going to go into this summer break a little bit too cocky and not have the mentality. I could potentially see Oscar Piastri coming back at the end of August with a vengeance.
What's the next race? Zandvoort?
Zandvoort.
Yeah, he's got that up on the sim, and he's just fucking going crazy. I mean,
Zandvoort, then Monza, then Baku. Those are, I think, last year obviously
he won.
Oscar
Baku
had great races in Monza and Baku. Singapore seems to be a Lando track, but we'll see how this the rest of this year goes. I'm just, you got to take your Lando wins where you can get them, baby.
Or maybe they just decide, I think we've also talked about like whoever's ahead at the break, they just kind of call it. I mean, they just kind of shut it down.
Damn,
that's
bro,
right.
you sounded nervous, baby.
No,
you sounded nervous. All right, we've got the summer break. We've got a bunch of great stuff coming up for you this summer. We've got an episode with Alex Brundle coming up. We're gonna do we're gonna do an episode talking about what are the biggest storylines going into the rest of the year. Maybe a couple more interviews. We got Vanka Hours coming up on Wednesday. I'm giving it. I think right now I feel like it's 65-45 Oscar Piastri, but that number has been glowing. I'm sorry, 55-45.
35. Yeah.
Sorry. 55-45.
55-45.
But it's getting close, baby. It's getting close.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, Vankas.
Goodbye, Vanka.
Damn.